Please give us a brief introduction.
My name is Sagar-Aarohan and I am from Cuttack. I have completed my Masters in Forestry Science from OUAT and I am currently working at State Bank of India as an Agriculture Associate.
Okay. So you are employed currently, right?
Yes,
the State Bank. Where
Yes.
are you posted?
Right now I am posted at Kalahandi.
At Kalahandi.
Yes.
Okay. So your 10th standard, from which school you passed
I have passed from Stuart School, Cuttack.
Okay. And then plus 2?
Plus 2 from Stuart Science College,
Okay.
Cuttack. Then OUAT I have done my graduation in Forestry Science
Okay.
and Masters also in Forestry Science.
Masters also have done
Yes.
the same OUT.
Yes, sir.
So you are already, in your own domain. So now you are as an agricultural associate.
Yes, sir.
So why are you interested in coming to civil services? Already you are, there in your domain. Whatever
Yes,
you have studied, you are utilizing it. Once you come to civil services, your specialized knowledge that you have acquired, that will be, lost, and you'll be doing all the generalist work.
Actually, sir, as I have studied forestry, and first of all, to be frank, I am working as in a clerical cadre
Okay.
in State Bank of India.
Okay.
Then I want to enhance my position.
Okay.
Then secondly, I think working in civil service, I think I would be able to impart more towards the people, like agriculture science and forestry science. And it also helps in administration also, because 70 to 80% of people in Odisha are generally farmers, are belong to the farming community. So I think being an agriculture graduate, I would be in a better position to serve the people.
Okay. So in that case, you have done in forestry, you should be more interested in forest services and all. That would go along
sir.
with what you have studied.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What are the subjects you have taken for the exam?
So my forestry science and home science.
Forestry and home science you have taken. So two options. Okay. The forestry, I understand that is your subject. Why have you taken home science?
So I always had this likeness towards home science, because right from school onwards I have taken in home science, right from also in the school career also.
Tenth you had? Home
Yes,
science?
I had a home science,
Okay.
because I really like that subject, because it's a very beautiful subject. It teaches more about things home science teaches every individual should know. Like about the nutrition, about the family health care, these things everybody should be aware and it should be known to everyone. So I was always interested in studying the subject. So when I got the opportunity to prepare for civil service exam, I took home science as a
Home
subject.
science, okay. So with your knowledge of home science, how that knowledge of home science, how it is going to help you in civil services?
As in civil service examination, as in civil servants do a lot of work in health sector, in nutrition sector, and in economy sector. As these are in home science, we have learned so many things about healthcare, nutrition and all. So I think it would be a great opportunity, as if I get through these exams, I may utilize my knowledge in serving the people.
So your home district is Cuttack?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you aware of the history of Cuttack? Who founded the city and all? Can you tell me?
Yes,
Who was the
sir.
founder of Cuttack city?
Yes,
Okay, go through that.
Yes,
And
sir.
why, this Cuttack word, what is the meaning of the word Cuttack? It is also sometimes, it was referred to as Abhinav Varanasi Cuttack. Why it was so referred?
Okay. So,
Okay. So, which is the most important, or you can say what the presiding deity of Cuttack city?
presiding.
deity, the god or goddess of the city?
It's Ma Katak Chandi. She is the most presiding deity.
And why is Kathak famous throughout the state or the nation? What are the specialties? 3 or 4 you can tell me.
First of all, the silver range work that happens in Kathak, it's world famous. Secondly, because of the ancient Baravati fort, and thirdly, the Baravati stadium. It's an international stadium, cricket stadium. Fourthly, and of course, the Dahibara Aldam is also very famous around.
Okay. You told about Baravati fort. That is related to which dynasty? Baravati fort?
I don't.
Just go through that.
Yes, I'll get into.
So, coming to your optionals, you have taken forestry and
Home science.
home science. Okay. So, in forestry, you have studied about silviculture of various species, right?
Yes, sir.
So, which is the most commonly occurring species in Odisha of tree?
Most commonly,
Overall Odisha, if you see.
most dominant tree,
Yeah. Most dominant.
banyan tree, but I'm not sure about it.
Okay, fine.
Asoka, which is also the state tree.
Okay, and what is the, in forestry, you must have studied about different silvicultural systems.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me something about the clear-cut system.
Clear cutting system is a system of silviculture system in which the entire area is first opened up. First, the mature trees are cut. First, all the mature trees are cut. Then, the entire area, new samplings have been introduced and new species have been introduced. But unlike other systems where the system carries on in compartments, like the entire forest is divided into compartments and the regeneration happens in compartments. But in the case of clear felling system, the entire forest, all the mature trees are cut off. Only dominant species or plus trees which are genetically very superior, they are retained, and fresh trees are introduced.
So,
And the outcome is even age trees. Even age trees. All the trees would be gradually with years. All the trees which will be in the outcome will have the same age. Will be in the same age group.
what is meant by thinning?
Thinning is there are various kinds of thinning. Actually, thinning is a process of taking out unnecessary plant parts from the tree, so that it would add to the growth of the tree. There are various kinds of thinning, like in the case of lower thinning, upper thinning, texture thinning. So these kinds of thinning happens. Like generally what happens is when the tree grows, it gives most of its nutrition towards the branches. As a result, the tree's bole, which is economically gets very spoiled. The structure gets economically spoiled. So that is the reason the offshoot branches are cut so that it gets a very clear and cylindrical bole, which would be economically very viable, as well as it would add to the environment also.
Okay. So, tell me something about the shelter wood system.
The shelter wood system is a system in which is a felling system in which the trees or mature trees are felled, but the tree it happens yes sir, the shelter wood system happens when it happens in one shelter, like one mature tree is retained and the surrounding trees are cut. It is done in compartments, the entire forest is divided into several compartments, and gradually the regeneration happens phase by phase, going from one compartment to other. So that is known as the shelter wood system.
There is no shelter system. So, how can what are the techniques generally used for countering the forest fires?
Forest fire, there are various kinds of methods which are generally employed by the government or the forest department. Firstly is drawing of fire lines inside the forest, whereas when the forest fire runs, it's a process in which lines are drawn, in which all the dry leaves which acts as a conduction medium for the fire to spread, they all are removed, and it's like an insulating wall between two walls, like to avoid the further spread of the fire. And secondly, the another method is a counter fire method, in which when the fire is coming from one side, the fire is sprayed from the other side, so that the fire gets the combustion slows down. Thirdly, the throwing of sand and mud into the fire. These three methods.
Okay. So, currently you must have heard about the condition of the Indian economy and what steps the government has taken recently. Tell me something about it.
The current step of merging of large banks is the currently in news. The government has decided to retain 8 banks. The Punjab National Bank would be in the second place. First bank would be State Bank of India. It has been done to avoid bad loans in future, to combat risk management in loan, and what are the other reasons?
Okay. There is also some protest from some
banking
professionals and banking staff. Why they are protesting? What is the problem?
They are the forest, the banking fraternity is protesting in this regard, because the unions are thinking that this is the step which would lead to the privatization of nationalized banks in India. Currently the privatization process, like 49% of stake is with the public and 51% is with the government. That is the reason they are public sector banks. Now currently with the situation, the next step which the unions and the banking fraternity is afraid of, that the next step would be the privatization of these banks.
Okay.
So they are agitating in this regard.
Okay. So there's a forest fire now going on, the Amazon forest fire.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about it? And people are criticizing the president there.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason?
The forest fire currently going on in Brazil is a huge natural catastrophe, or an artificial catastrophe which is not yet known. But the facts that are coming out from that, there has been a huge loss of natural resources in that area, which is irreversible, and the people are don't know about the people are criticizing the president, but there is some news that they have knowingly, the people or some mafia has been knowingly involved in combusting the forest fire.
Sure. So here, can you tell me some important non-timber forest produce of Odisha?
Important non-timber forest is lac. It's bamboos. Bamboos is used largely in the furniture sector, in the paper pulp industries, and canes is being used.
In which category Kendu will go? Kendu leaves?
Kendu leaves is also a non-timber forest product, sir.
What is the utility, and like many people depend on the Kendu leaves? It is one
Yes,
of
sir.
the biggest
Yes,
source
sir.
of revenue.
Even the forest department has a wing of the Kendu leaf department. Generally, sir, what happens when these Kendu leaves fall from these trees, they are used in various purposes. They are rotten, and it is used in making alcohol, and even the leaves are used in making cigarettes. It's not cigarettes, sir. It's
Bidis.
BDs, sir.
Okay, fine. So that will be the end of the interview.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just ask you one more SR 10 marks in situation reaction test. So suppose you are given the charge of selecting one officer for important post, and two officers are there, okay, in the fray. Officer A is extremely honest, but he is inefficient. Officer B, just the opposite. He is extremely efficient, but he is not honest. He is dishonest. Okay, there is a chance that he will involve himself in some corrupt practices. So whom are you going to choose and why?
Firstly, the situation would be very important. I think the situation would decide which person would be.
Let's say you are choosing them for implementing a very important project to build hospitals in tribal areas, in areas where healthcare facilities are not there. And the person who will be chosen, he will be overall in charge of entire project.
I would be choosing the most honest person.
Which is the honest person.
Yes, sir.
Maybe he will not be able to deliver because generally he is not efficient. So
Maybe he may fail, but the resources won't get exploited. The money won't get exploited. Even if he fails, that would be okay. The 2-year project may take 5 years, 10 years, but initially that would be success.
he will suffer.
But in the case if the efficient officer takes the charge, he may give the services immediately, but due to his corrupt activities, that may be a danger in the later cases. People may face a lot more than this.
Okay. Okay, so that will be the end of the interview. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.